जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय
गिरवरधारी।
गिरवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ वरधारी।
जय गोपी जन गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन
ब्रज
ब्रज
जन
जन रंजन।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीर
वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा
माधव
कुंज
कुंज
बिहारी।
बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव
माधव
कुंज
कुंज
बिहारी।
बिहारी।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
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 हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे।
हरे
हरे
राम
राम हरे राम
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 राम राम
राम हरे हरे।
हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण हरे
कृष्ण
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 हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे।
हरे
हरे
राम
राम हरे
हरे राम
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 राम हरे हरे।
हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण हरे
हरे।
हरे।
हरे
हरे
राम
राम हरे राम राम
राम राम
राम हरे
हरे हरे।
हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Krishna
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Hare,
हरे।
Hare
हरे
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
राम राम
Rama, Hare
हरे
Hare.
हरे।
हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
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 Hare.
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya
Jaya
Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya
Gauranitai,
Gauranitai.
Gauranitai,
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya
Jaya
Gauranitai,
Gauranitai,
Jaya Gauranitai,
Gauranitai,
Jaya
Jaya
Gauranitai,
Gauranitai,
Jaya
Jaya
Gauranitai.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Srila
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya
Jaya Guru,
Gurudeva, Jaya
Guru
Gurudeva,
Jaya
Jaya
Guru
Gurudeva,
Deva,
Jaya
Jaya Guru
Gurudeva.
Deva.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Gaura Hari
Hari Bol, Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Gaura
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Gaura Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol, Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura
Nitai
Hari
Gaura Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Path Paramta Parivrajaka Stotra Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charananda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Jai,
Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki.
Jai,
Jai,
Vrindavan Dham ki.
Jai,
Jagannath Puri Dham
Jai,
ki.
Jai,
Navadip Dham ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Tulsi Devi ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Answer book and Prasadam distribution ki.
Jai.
Jai,
Jai,
Yogadharma Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki.
Jai.
Jai.
All Premanande.
Hari Hari.
Hari Hari
All good
Bol.
assembled devotees. All
Hare
good assembled
Krishna,
devotees. All
Hare
good assembled
Krishna,
devotees. All glories of
Hare Krishna.
Guru and Varanga. All glories to Lotus Feet of Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai,
Jai.
Jai,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. We will start our Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya,
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om
Vasudevaya,
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya,
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram
Na
Chaiva Narottamam Devim
Nar
Saraswatim Vyasam
Narayanam
Tato
Namaskritya
Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Badreshu
Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata
Nityam
Sevaya
Sevaya,
Bhagavati Uttama
Bhagavati Uttama
Shloke Bhaktir
Shloke
Bhavati
Bhaktir
Naistiki.
Bhavati Naistiki.
Hare
Jai,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I welcome all of you for today's study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from Canto 5. So today's verse is the last verse of chapter 4 and the first one of chapter 5. So because this is a prose, so I will just recite the shloka and translation. We'll repeat translation and then we'll come to chapter 5. Okay. Chapter 4 entitled The Characteristics of Rishabdev, text 90. Sa kadachit athat mano Bhagwan Rishabho Brahmavarta Gato Brahmarshi Pravara Sabhayam Prajanam Nisham Mayatinam Atmajan Avahitatmanaha Prashraya Pranaya Bhara Suyantritan Api Upai Shikshayan Iti Hovacha. The translation, please repeat after me. Once while touring the world,
Once while touring the world,
Lord Rishabdev,
Lord
Lord
Rishabdev,
Rishabdev,
the Supreme Lord,
the Supreme Lord,
Supreme Lord,
reached a place known as Brahmavarta.
reached
reached a place
Known
known
as
as Brahma
Brahmavarta.
There was a great conference of learned Brahmanas at that place.
There
There
was
There
a
was a great
conference
conference
of
of
learned
learned Brahmanas
Brahmanas
at
Brahmanas
that
at that
place.
place.
And all the king's sons
all the king's
All the
sons
king's sons
attentively heard the instructions of Brahmanas there.
attentively heard the
We heard
instructions
the
of the
instructions of
Brahmanas
Brahmanas there.
there.
At that assembly,
At that
At
at
that
that
assembly,
assembly,
within the hearing of the citizens,
within the
within
hearing
the
of the
hearing of the
citizens,
citizens,
Rishabdev instructed his sons.
Rishabdev
and
instructed
his
his sons,
son,
Although they were already very well behaved,
although they
although
were
they
although
were
they were
already very
already
well
very well
behaved,
behaved,
devoted and qualified,
devoted
devoted
and
and
qualified,
qualified,
he instructed them so that in the future
he
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 instructed
instructed
them
them
so
so
that in the
that in the
future
future
they could rule the world very perfectly.
they
they
could rule
could
the
rule the
world very
world very
perfectly.
perfectly.
Thus he spoke as follows.
thus he
Thus
Thus
he
spoke
he
as
spoke
spoke
as
as
follows.
follows.
Please repeat the purport. Here the purport. The purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
The instructions of Lord Rishabdev to his sons are very valuable if one wants to live peacefully within this world, which is full of miseries. In the next chapter, Lord Rishabdev gives his sons these valuable instructions. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 4th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled The Characteristics of Rishabdev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chapter 5. I read the introduction also, then we'll recite the verse together. Chapter 5. Lord Rishabdev's teaching to his sons. In this chapter, there is a description of Bhagavad Dharma, religious principles in devotional service that transcend religious principles for liberation and the mitigation of material misery. It is stated in this chapter that a human being should not work hard like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. The human life is especially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord, and to this end, all kinds of austerities and penances should be accepted. By austere activities, one's heart can be cleansed of mental contamination, and as a result, one can be situated on the spiritual platform. To attain this perfection, one has to take shelter of a devotee and serve him. Then the door of liberation will be open. Those who are materially attached to women and sense gratification gradually become entangled in material consciousness and suffer the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Those who are engaged in the general welfare of all and who are not attached to children and family are called Mahatmas. Those who are engaged in sense gratification, who act piously or impiously, cannot understand the purpose of the soul. Therefore, they should approach a highly elevated devotee and accept him as a spiritual master. By his association, one will be able to understand the purpose of life. Under the instructions of such a spiritual master, one can attain devotional service to the Lord, detachment from material things, and tolerance of material misery and distress. One can then see all living entities equally, and one becomes very eager to know about transcendental subject matters, endeavoring persistently for the satisfaction of Krishna. One becomes detached from wife, children, and home. He is not interested in wasting time. In this way, one becomes self-realized. A person advanced in spiritual knowledge does not engage anyone in material activity, and one who cannot deliver any another person by instructing him in devotional service should not become a spiritual master, father, mother, demigod, or husband. Instructing his 100 sons, Lord Rishabdev advised them to accept their eldest brother Bharata as their guide and lord, and thereby serve him. Of all living entities, the Brahmanas are the best, and above the Brahmanas are the Vaishnavas, are situated in an even better position. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personal Godhead. Thus, Shukadev Goswami describes the characteristics of Bharat Maharaj and this sacrificial performance executed by Lord Rishabdev for the instruction of the general populace. So now we come to the verse 1. This is one of the most quoted, probably of 4 topics which Prabhupada quoted a lot, and this is one of them. Very often we can hear, and it's very important verse from Bhagavatam also. So please, we can recite this. Rishabhuvacha
Vishwavacha
Nayam deha bhajam loke
Nayam deho dehe
bhajam
bhajam
loke
loke
kastan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye
Kashtan
Kashtan
kaman
kaman
harati
arhate vidbhujanye
tapo
bhujaye
divyam putrakayena satvam
Tapo
Tapo
divyam
divyam
putrakayena
putrikayena
sattvam
sattvam
shuddhyed yasmat brahma saukyam
Suddhyedasmat brahma
Sudhyasmad
saukyam
brahma
tvanantam
sokyam tva anantam
Rishabha uvacha
Rishabha
Vishwa
uvacha
uvacha
Nayam deho bhajam loke
Nayam
Nayam
deho
deho deha
deha bhajam
bhajam naloke
niloke
kastan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye
Kashtan
Kashtam
kaman arhate
kamarati
vidbhujanye
tapo divyam putrakayena satvam
Tapo
Tapo
divyam putrikayena sattvam
shuddhyed yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam.
Sudyedasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam
Can someone recite? Thank you.
Vishwa uvacha
Rishabha
Rishabhavacha
Nayam deho deha bhajam niloke
Nayam
Nayam
deho
deho
deha
deha
bhajam
bhajam
nanam
loke
loke
Kashtan kuman arhate vidbhujamaye
kastan
Kashtan
kaman
kaman
arhate
arhate
vidbhujam ye
vidbhujanye
Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam
tapo
Tapo
divyam
devam
putrakayena
pustrikayena
satvam
sattvam
Sudhyadyasvad brahma shokhyam tva anantam
shuddhyed
Shuddhyed
yasmat brahma
yasmat brahma
saukyam
saukyam
tvanantam.
tvanantam Rishabha uvacha
Rishabha
Vishwa
Rishabha
uvacha
Na
Uvacha
Nayam deho deha bhajam naloke
Nayam
Nayam
deho
Nayam
deha
deho
Deha
deha
bhajam
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 loke
niloke
Loke
Kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujanye
Kashtan
kastan
Kashtan kaman
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 arhate
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 vidbhujam ye
vidbhujamaye
Tapo divyam putrikayena sattvam
tapo
Tapo
divyam
divyam
putrakayena
putrakayena
satvam
Putrakayena
sattvam
Sattvam
Shuddhyet tasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam
shuddhyed yasmat
Sudhyadyasvad
Shuddhyasmat
brahma
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 saukyam
sokyam
Saukyam
tva
tvanantam.
Tvanantam
anantam
Okay, all right. So we'll do word. Rishabha uvacha.
Rishva
Rishabha
uvacha
uvacha
Lord Rishabdev said,
Lord
Lord
Rishabdev said
Rishabdev said
Na,
Na
Na
not.
not
not
I am
I
I am
am
this.
this
this
Deha,
Deha
Deha
body.
body
body
Deha, bhajam,
Deha
Deha
bhajam
of
bhajam
all living entities
of
of
all
all living
living
entities
entities
who have accepted material bodies.
who have
who have
accepted
accepted
material
material
bodies
bodies
Niloke,
Niloke
Niloke
in this world.
in
in
this
this
world
world
Kastan,
Kashtan
Kashtan
troublesome.
troublesome
troublesome
Kaman,
Kaman
Karma
sense gratification.
sense
sense
gratification
gratification
Arhate,
Arhate
Arhate
deserves.
deserves
deserves
Vit bhujam,
with bhujam
Vijam
of stool eaters.
of
of
stool
stool
eaters
eaters
Ye,
Ye
Yea
which
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 tapaha,
tapaha
tapaha
austerities and penances.
austerities and
austerities and
penances
penances
Divyam,
Divyam
Divyam
divine.
divine
divine
Putrakaha,
Putrakaha
Putrakaha
my dear sons.
my
mighty
dear
son
sons
Yena,
Yena
Yena
by which.
by which
by which
Sattvam,
Sattvam
Tattvam
the heart.
the
the
heart
heart
Shuddhyet,
Shuddhayat
becomes purified.
becomes
becomes
purified
purified
Yasmat,
Yasmat
Yasmat
from which.
from
from which
which
Brahma Saukyam,
Brahma
Brahma
Saukyam
Saukyam
spiritual happiness.
spiritual happiness
Tu,
to
to
certainly.
certainly
certainly
Anantam,
Anantam
Anantam
unending.
unending
unending
Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
So please repeat the translation. It's very. Lord Rishabdev told his sons,
Lord Rishabdev told his sons,
my dear boys,
my dear
My dear
boys,
boys,
of all the living entities
of
of
all the living
all the living
entities
entities
who have accepted material bodies in this world,
who have accepted material bodies in this world,
one who has been awarded this human form
one who
one
has
who
been
has been
awarded this
awarded
human
this
form,
form
should not work hard day and night
should
should
not
not
work
work
hard day and
hard day
night
and night
simply for sense gratification,
simply for sense
sense
gratification,
gratification,
which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool.
which
which
is
is available
available
even for
even for
dogs and
dogs and
hogs that
hogs
eat
that
stool.
eat stool.
One should engage in penance and austerity
One should engage in
in
penance and
penance and
austerity
to attain the divine position of devotional service.
to attain the
attain the
divine
divine
position of
position of
devotional
devotional
service.
service.
By such activity,
By such activity,
one's heart is purified.
one's
One's
heart is
heart is
purified.
purified,
And when one attains this position,
and
And
when
when
one
one attains this
this
position,
position,
he attains eternal blissful life,
he
he
attains
attains
eternal blissful
eternal
life,
blissful life,
which is transcendental to material happiness
which
which
is
is transcendental
transcendental
to
to
material
material
happiness,
happiness,
and which continues forever.
and which
which
continues
continues
forever.
forever.
Thank you. So please hear the purport. In this verse, Lord Rishabdev tells his sons about the importance of human life. The word Deha Bhak refers to anyone who accepts a material body, but the living entity who is awarded the human form must act differently from animals. Animals like dogs and hogs enjoy sense gratification by eating stool. After undergoing severe hardships all day, human beings are trying to enjoy themselves at night by eating, drinking, having sex, and sleeping. At the same time, they have to properly defend themselves. However, this is not human civilization. Human life means voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. There is, of course, suffering in the lives of animals and plants, which are suffering due to their past misdeeds. However, human beings should voluntarily accept suffering in the form of austerities and penances in order to attain the divine life. After attaining the divine life, one can enjoy happiness eternally. After all, every living entity is trying to enjoy happiness, but as long as one is engaged in the material body, he has to suffer different kinds of misery. A higher sense is present in the human form. We should act according to superior advice in order to attain eternal happiness and go back to Godhead. It is significant in these words that the government and the natural guardian, the father, should educate subordinates and raise them to Krishna consciousness. Devoid of Krishna consciousness, every living being suffers in this cycle of birth and death perpetually. To relieve them from this bondage and enable them to become blissful and happy, Bhakti Yoga should be taught. A foolish civilization neglects to teach people how to rise to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. Without Krishna consciousness, a person is no better than a dog or hog. The instructions of Rishabdev are very essential at the present moment. People are being educated and trained to work very hard for sense gratification, and there is no sublime aim in life. A man travels to earn his livelihood, leaving home early in the morning, catching a local train and being packed in a compartment. He has to stand for an hour or two in order to reach his place of business. Then again, he takes a bus to get to the office. At the office, he works hard from 9 to 5. Then it takes 2 or 3 hours to return home. After eating, he has sex and goes to sleep. For all this hardship, his only happiness is a little sex. Jan maitunadi grihamedi sukham hi tucham. Rishabdev clearly states that human life is not meant for this kind of existence, which is enjoyed even by dogs and hogs. Indeed, dogs and hogs do not have to work so hard for sex. A human being should try to live in a different way and should not try to imitate dogs and hogs. The alternative is mentioned. Human life is meant for tapasya, austerity, and penance. By tapasya, one can get out of the material clutches. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, devotional service, his happiness is guaranteed eternally. By taking to Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, one's existence is purified. The living entity is seeking happiness life after life, but he can make a solution to all his problems simply by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Then he immediately becomes eligible to return home back to Godhead. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world but attains my eternal abode. O Arjuna. So that's the end of today's purport. Oh. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakam Lamvi Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, thank you. So I'll read the verse. ऋषभ उवाच नायं देहो देह भाजाम्न लोके कष्टान् कामान् अर्हते विभुजाम्ये तपो दिव्यं पुत्रकायेन सत्वं शुद्ध्येद् यस्माद् ब्रह्म सौख्यं त्वनन्तं. Lord Rishabhdev told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for some gratification which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendent to material happiness and which continues forever. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I seek the blessings of all the assembled devotees so that today I can glorify today's verse. And also I thank Sadanand Prabhu, because when he put the message, I thought I will do it, take up this service, not knowing that actually I'm going to do this, one of the very important verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So when I was doing little bit of study or research on these words, of course, this verse itself has got so much we can study. We can, if we read proper study of Srila Prabhupada books or this purport, we have enough. But still, I wanted to know what Prabhupada has spoken. So one thing I come to know that Prabhupada, from in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada spoke many topics, but the five main topics which Prabhupada emphasized a lot, in that one of them is this Rishabdev, this verse, where austerity, the purpose of human life is not sense enjoyment, rather to perform tapa. And then Prabhupada also spoke about importance of Shravanam Kirtanam. Then he talked about the supreme occupation of human life. So all this if you see, consider the five most emphasized topics, this is one of them. And it has been quoted in many places by Prabhupada. And even the reason Prabhupada quoted is, if I was just I was just thinking that I heard a lecture long time ago where His Grace Amarendra Prabhu was mentioning that he was, I think, quoting Prabhupada, that even if we read, he started from reading Prabhupada's, of all books, if you read one book, of one book, if you just read one chapter, of one chapter, even if you read one page, of one page, if you read one line, and then he goes on to word, and then eventually one alphabet. of Bhagavatam is so pure that it immediately purifies us. And similarly, if you look at it, the whole Bhagavatam, the whole purpose of human life, and what should be the purpose, and what as a living entity we should be doing is mentioned in this one verse. That's why. So it's very easy. It's very important when Prabhupada is quoting, he quoted it so that purpose of human life is not just to enjoy, like today, acquiring. That's what in the lectures of His Holiness Devamrit Maharaj talks about a lot. That the consummation, today's consumerism, and is so prevalent that the more you consume, consider you are more, because that means you are consuming means you have got so much wealth and so many facilities that will bring you happiness. And people equate their comfort into happiness, and unfortunately and they fall into this trap of thinking that they can acquire so many things for their comfort, and acquiring that, obviously we know we have to work hard. And Prabhupada gave in the purport that people spend 2 hours, 3 hours to just go to work and come back from work. It's like 5 to 6 hours they travel, and then 8 hours of hard work at work, then 8 and 5, if even 6, 14 hours. 14 to 16 hours people are spending time without knowing what is the purpose. And then after that, when you work so hard, the the technically or people want to have some rest, come back home and take some rest, have some food, and then spend some time doing some enjoyment, watching TV or these things. They want to forget. As Prabhupada says, why people need to take day off in the week, 1 or 2 days. Now we have 2 days here, because 5 days they do so much hard work. So they want to forget that hard work, and they want to live in that ignorance for 2 days, that they are not getting stressed. And then obviously when it comes Sunday evening, people started having some nightmares. Okay, tomorrow go to work again. But again, bringing back our topic to subject to this is, here in this verse, Vrishabdev, who is himself is a supreme personality of Godhead, and here in the previous verse we see that even though 100 sons of Rishabdev are all well qualified, devoted, everything, but still Lord is explaining them. He is giving his final instructions, the most important instructions to his sons, and through him we can all access these instructions of Nayam Deho Deha Brajam na Loke Kastan Kaman Arhate with Bujam Tapo Divyam. So this one of the things is Tapo Divyam. Like we started this new Bhakti Riksha, and the Bhakti Riksha we are doing introduction of Bhagavad Gita basics. And the first thing, basics, is we talk about the commonalities of human and animal. There we say Ahara Nidra Bhayamaituram Cha Samanyamaitat Pashubir Naranam Dharmo Hitisham Adhiko Vishesho Dharme Nahina Pashubir Samana. So the four things which are common between humans and animals, as we all know: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Both humans and animals are doing same thing, but if humans have got something more important, which is dharma. If they don't follow dharma, then they are as good as animals. That we discuss it. And in this, sometimes people, when they attend these classes, they get little disturbed that why you are equating, we have got higher intelligence. So then sometimes some people, those who are open, even though their questions may be challenging initially, but when we explain that animals are eating whatever raw they find it, whatever Krishna has provided them the facility of hunting or doing any kind of thing, and they get food. Once they eat food, they get satisfaction. And we also eat food. For eating food, we have to do so much of hard work. As Prabhupada is given, 6 hours of commuting and 8 hours of job. We are also working hard for finding some nice food and eat. So animals are also eating, we are also eating. So our intelligence, we are using our intelligence just so that we can do better, use this, some things, make our life little comfortable by some technological advancement. But at the end, our focus is only on eating. If we don't use this intelligence of what is given to us, and that is Atata Brahma Jigyasa. If you don't have these questions of what is the purpose, why I have come, why I am suffering, what happens after death, does God exist, why this creation is working like this. If we start having this question, if otherwise, then we are as good as animals. And when we explain them, then some people, they really take it, they get answer, they understand it, but sometimes it's very difficult. They don't, they just put off themselves and say, "Okay, you are calling me animal." So no, we are not calling animal. It is Shastras are calling. And if we just see that the intelligence is given, for that intelligence, if we use it for finding out the higher uh, uh, life existence, then that's the use. Otherwise, what is the point? If you buy a car at home, and car is meant to use for commuting. Instead of commuting, if we just park the car all day long, all day week, all month, we don't use it, then what is the point of buying the car? The car has got some usage, we have to use it. Similarly, human life has got some certain usage. Animals, for them, unfortunately, they are, as purport says, they are suffering from their past deeds, and their activities instinct oriented. When they feel hungry, then only they hunt. When they feel having some sex life, then only they do it. Otherwise, they don't do it. Or when they feel like sleeping, they sleep. But for us, when intelligence is given, we have to find out the questions, find out ask this important question: what is the purpose of life? And this one shloka where Rishabdev summed up everything. So what one we should not do it, and what one should do it. So I just have made some things. So I'll try to make some notes. So I'll use that. So human life in this Rishabdev is saying is rare and valuable. And we also heard Manusha Janma, Durlabha Manusha Janma, Manusha Janma Paya, Radha Krishna Rambhajiya, Janya Shunya, Vishaya Khainu. Narottam Das Thakur says that I have got this human form, and I have not used it in serving Radha Krishna. So Janya Sunya, knowingly I have drank poison. Vishay, I drank Vishay, which is poison. Similarly, human life is, because it's rare and it's valuable. Why it is rare? Because we all know that it comes from after 8.4 million species cycle. When it ends, then we enter into human form. So that means it's very rare. And why it's valuable? Because this one human life can bring us the purpose, and they can also make us achieve the highest goal. That's why it's valuable. And Chanakya Pandit says that even one moment wasted, we cannot buy that by selling, bringing the whole gold of the whole world. If we use it, we can't buy one moment. So when we come to human life, that's very important, that how we use it. Yes, animals are working, we human beings are working. If our thing is only eating, sleeping, mating, defending, if we are stuck in that, then unfortunately this human life is not meant for us. That's why Prabhupada says, even Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, when we don't use it for higher purpose, then adogachanti tamasa, then living entities get into species which are lower species of life, where they get everything very well. They can have nice, when it comes to eating, they can have better, better way. They can eat, consume lot of food. If they want to sleep, they can get a life of a polar bear, sleep for so long. If they want to have sex, some animals are much better when it comes to sex life and defend. We all know the animals are, when it comes to the physical thing, they do very well, protect themselves, their family very well. So Krishna sends, or Maya Devi sees that this person is not using it properly. So then, if he's too attached to sense gratification, then they get the next life accordingly. So, but as a human being, when we have come, it is our duty to ask these questions. Like when I came first time to Australia, so I got a mail from my HR, and the HR says that you have to create this TFN number. And then she says, because it doesn't matter where are you coming from. So TFN is required for tax filing. Through the tax filing, we'll send you the income and then the tax sent, the ATO. Then if you don't use it, if you just, then it is considered as an offense and then you will be prosecuted. Similarly, when we take the birth as human life, it is our purpose, our responsibility to find what is the purpose of life. And after finding, then we have to act on it. And Prabhupada emphasized this point many, many times. He said, if human beings do the same thing, then we are, as they say, Prabhupada says, we are polished, well-dressed, well-mannered, four-legged animals. If we do the same thing as animals, apart from finding out the purpose, then it is we are polished animals, not much. And obviously, again, this also, when we speak in Bhagavad Gita classes, so sometimes people don't like to hear. And I also got people, they say, if I'm animal, I'm very good. If I get an animal life next life, I'll be very happy. Because they think that dog life, their dog is having great time in Australia. They see dogs in Australia where they say, dog life is good. Why I have to be worried? But yes, dog life is good. Because we are not in dog body, we don't know what dog goes through. And if you really wanted to know what his dog is going through, they can go to some countries where how the dogs are treated. So that there is 4 different types of intelligent people. One who hears, the topmost intelligent Prabhupada says, they hear and they accept it, the truth, that yes, this is not good. Second is, hearing is not enough for them. They want to see. They see it and they say, oh yes, this is not right. And the third intelligence is that hearing, seeing doesn't matter. They think that it won't happen to me. Then they want to experience it. They go through that whole process of pain. And when they go through pain, they get lesson. They learn lesson and say, yes, this is true. I should not be doing it. But the worst of them is they hear, they see, they experience, but still they don't learn. And that is most of the unfortunately living entities in today's Kali Yuga, we find them. They go through everything. All this, the family has gone through, the parents have gone through, the relatives have gone through, the neighbors have, everyone is going through this thing, but no one, unfortunately, they don't understand. They don't look for this. They don't ask questions. It even says Shastra that it doesn't matter, someone has to come and tell. Obviously, that's why Krishna has got his devotees and they go and they try to preach this. But we don't even have to, no one has to come to us. Even if you have a sincere desire that I want to know the purpose of life within our heart, there is Paramatma sitting, he will navigate us to the right process, right person. And we have got many such examples in the lives of great devotees. Even in ISKCON, there are many devotees. They are searching for something. Many of Prabhupada disciples are like that. They have gone to many paths to find the purpose of life. Some of them, after being there practicing, but still they didn't get the answers. This is not. It doesn't find them the real peace or happiness. And when they come to eventually Prabhupada, they found that this is the purpose. This is what they are looking for it. And I don't know which one, but one Bhakti Tirtha Swami was going to one very famous yogi, and he was asking so many questions. And this yogi, he said, your questions can be answered by only one person, and that is ISKCON's founder, Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is the one who can answer your questions. And he tells him, you go to him, but don't tell anyone that you are following me before coming there. You go to him. So like that, if he had, the reason I quoted this Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is, if you have a sincere desire to know what I supposed to be doing it, how can I make my life successful? If you have this sincere prayer within our heart, then there is Paramatma sitting and he can guide. And then Paramatma guides, obviously, within his sitting as Paramatma, He even says, but we may have, we may not have ears to hear. So then Paramatma guides us to a devotee who actually takes us into through all these processes. What is the human form? Why we have taken this human form? Then we started asking questions. I'm meeting one person every Saturday. He comes to temple. He's from one of the Muslim countries where their community is being very seriously prosecuted, and he's somehow has got a lot of questions. Why so much suffering like this? Very basic, which generally people have. One who has got some intelligence, they all have these things. And while he was pursuing like that, he had searching some questions. Someone gave him Bhagavad Gita from somewhere. Someone said, "This is good book. Probably you should read." I think Bhagavad Gita or Krishna book. Uh, I'm mixing probably Krishna book. So he read Krishna book, and he didn't heard Bhagavad Gita. He was so attracted to that book, and then he started finding people how we can have access to more books. Then few weeks ago, he came to our temple, and we were setting up some bookstall there. And he was asking this question. Then I said, I thought he's a very right person. Then I said, why don't you read this Bhagavatam? And he took Bhagavatam first canto, uh, first word, first point thing, and he put it in his book. Then he said, I will read. Then he even gave me some money, which is obviously more than we sell the copy. Then I gave him another book, and he was so thankful that he has taken a small book, which is also asking, missing link, something more scientific questions where people have these very logical questions. And next week when he comes, he said, I read this book. And he started going to different websites, trying to find the answers. And then slowly, he got into Bhagavatam, because in Bhagavatam, first canto he was reading. He is having questions about who is this Mahavishnu, who is this person from whom these all elements are coming, this universe are coming. And when I was surprised that a person who doesn't have any background of Sanatan Dharma or our Vedic culture, he is not brought up in that culture, he doesn't know anything. And just a few weeks or months of his inquisitiveness brought him to the level of understanding different Vishnus, who are Vishnu, how Vishnu and Krishna are different, how Krishna is the source of everything. And the beauty of it is, whatever I'm saying, he is accepting. He is not defending anything. And that means he is accepting, doesn't mean out of just blind faith. He is accepting that his questions or whatever he is thinking, that it's getting answered. And more than him, I was very happy, because Krishna and Prabhupada used me source for giving this knowledge, what I heard, but actually it is not for him, it is for myself, my own benefit. For so long, I was just speaking this knowledge to so many people about basics knowledge, but sometimes we get this even can say arrogance or proud, that we think, yeah, I know this. But actually, when I saw teaching him, then I also started learning things which are more intricate. So that's the point. The human life is meant for higher purpose, and that is our responsibility to check that how I can. If we don't know where to go, if you really don't want to be cheated, then we pray to our Paramatma, pray to God who is unseen. Then Paramatma, in the form of Paramatma, will guide us. And the second point, which Rishabdev very clearly tells, is sense enjoyment is available everywhere, and he gives example of dog and hog. Now, Prabhupada writes that why Rishabdev was used hog, because this hog eats thing which is for a human being is obnoxious or disgusting. Like even when we go to the toilet after attending the call, none of us or any human being won't even think before flushing, should I flush it? Even though that is coming from our body, We don't even think, because we feel it's disgusting and obnoxious. For a human being, it is that. But whereas the same stuff for a hog is a feast. Hogs feast it. That means sense enjoyment from this we can understand is relative. Sense enjoyment, material sense enjoyment is relative. For someone which is most disgusting and obnoxious, for someone it is celebration. So because material sense gratification is like this, whereas if you look at the spiritual sense gratification or spiritual enjoyment is what Rishabdev is talking, Brahma Saukyam. So don't settle on the lower uh, things, don't settle on the lower values, try to look for higher purpose. And that higher purpose is, it's Tvanantam, it is this pleasure, the spiritual pleasure is unlimited. Unless we have some experience, some taste, and Krishna gives when we are come to Krishna consciousness, when we start following this process, initially we all have tasted that pleasure, which is very valuable. And then after some time, the pleasure, we don't experience it because of whatever many reasons. But if sadhaka sincerely is performing, he is getting the taste day after day. He don't have to, he don't have any questions on that. So spiritual, if you have to gratify, we can gratify few spiritual senses, like Prabhupada quotes, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Tama Uchate. So we can engage our senses, which otherwise we are engaging for our own thing, but instead of engaging our senses for our own gratification, we can engage them for gratifying Krishna's senses. By gratifying him, by pleasing him, we all get pleased. It's like watering the root of a tree, which will get nourish the whole tree. Even if you put lots of water on each leaf, it won't be satisfied. The satisfaction is at the root. Similarly, the root is in Krishna consciousness or in understanding is Krishna. When we serve him, the pleasure is automatically derived. We don't need any certificate, anyone giving certificate that you are pleased or you are happy or not. That Krishna gives us, and that pleasure which comes within our heart, we immediately feel content. We don't look anything beyond. That is the uh, proof of that we are experiencing it. And then how we experience some of which Rishabdev says that we can experience this Brahma Saukyam, we can get, which is unlimited eternal happiness. Brahma Saukyam is performing Tapo Divyam. We can perform Divya Tapa. Tapa is, obviously we know, austerity. Austerity, when we do austerity, and Prabhupada gave us austerity for us, is chanting 16 rounds attentively. That is the greatest austerity. Then following 4 regulatory principles. Then fasting Ekadashis, regulating principles, and rising for Mangalarti and attending Mangalarti and chanting in Brahma Muhurta. And from today, we are starting Chaturmas, which is also kind of austerity, where for this whole month, we don't honor leafy vegetables. So these are some of the austerities which Prabhupada says. But again, question might arise, why is Krishna is a sadistic or person? Austerity means is like more this kind of suffering, which externally people find it suffering. Like if you are fasting, you are suffering. For them, it's suffering. That means is Krishna is pleased when we are suffering? That means is it sadistic? No, Krishna is not pleased for us fasting or for all these processes, because these processes are purifying us. Even tapa purifies us, and purification is happening for the purpose of connecting more closer to Krishna. And Prabhupada gives example of a mirror. If a mirror is there, we can stand in front of mirror when it is dusty. We can't see even our own self. But by continuously rubbing, continuously cleaning, pristine clean, when you see that, make that mirror, then we can see as it is. Similarly, Krishna sitting in our heart as a Paramatma, he is completely covered by so many so many anarthas, what we are doing it. And by doing this austerity, by doing this tapasya, we are slowly clearing our anarthas. And when we clear these anarthas, what is the prayojana of this clearing anarthas? When we are the purpose, the goal of that is we can get the prayojana, which is Krishna prem. We can see Krishna, we can go back home, back to Godhead and serve Krishna there. And because when Krishna sees these people is doing this austerity, so that they want to come to me, they want to attain me. So Krishna, that is the reason why Krishna is pleased. He is not pleased because we are doing some voluntarily accepting some pain or suffering. No, that's not the purpose. And Prabhupada in one of the books, actually in few places he tells differently, but he says tapasya means saying no to the demands of uncontrolled senses. That is real tapasya. And my Guru Maharaj says the real renunciation is renouncing minute by minute whatever thought comes or desire comes to enjoy. When we are every minute when we get some desire to enjoy and we giving up that is called real renunciation. It's not renouncing our ashram or taking some saffron or putting on some dress or no, that is not renunciation. Yes, that is external, but internal renunciation, even for a sadhaka, he may be a student or a family man or a businessman, whatever, we can all become a sannyasi by the subject matter when we start renouncing our desires to enjoy sense gratification, moment to moment. When we have that, then we can call ourselves, we can call that person is a sannyasi. And and why Rishabdev is talking? Because everyone is looking for some happiness, material thing, but actually he's saying no. Material happiness is like even in our Bhagavad Gita now when we're teaching, material happiness has got an ending and it has got a start. We have a start and there is an end also, unfortunately. When we start, it looks good, but when it ends, then we feel very disappointed. Then again, we start looking for some source of happiness. So, which is temporary. Whereas spiritual happiness is internal. It is not shown externally. We can't see it, but internally it's there and is eternal. And it is ever increasing. Ever increasing. And also it's independent, so it's not dependent on anything. So when we are serving Krishna, when we do the devotion, so we don't get into any we don't, it's not dependent, it's independent. We can achieve that happiness very without any interruption. And it is also Rishabh is saying it's unlimited and eternal. It is in anantam. It's unlimited. It's not stopping, and it's eternal. It's going on and on and on. And in when I came to Krishna consciousness, in His Grace, Shankarshan Maharaj was mentioning in one of the lectures that spiritual happiness we cannot describe it. He said, "How? Why we cannot describe or why we cannot fathom? Because spiritual happiness is first of all is unending. On top, it is ever increasing. So when you say something is unending, how can you even fathom how it is increasing also? So that's why this can be only with our writing, with our this thing we cannot explain. But how we explain when we experience it. That's why those who have taken Krishna consciousness, like acharyas, they even though externally they may be having some pain or something which is not right, but because they're looking towards Krishna and they're involved in this, so they don't experience any pain externally. And then finally, I would like to talk about the application. So how we can apply today's words is obviously for achieving Brahma Saukyam, for Tapo Divyam, the Divya Tapa for all of us Krishna consciousness followers, Prabhupada said, is chanting 16. Chanting 16 rounds is not a problem, but the problem is Tapa is real tapasya is when we chant, we have to chant attentively. Because this mind is such a restless, troublesome person that when we want to sit, the moment we sit and chant, mind will take us on a world tour or probably universal tour. We'll go everywhere. Mind doesn't want to sit. So that is the real tapasya. Then second part is hearing Bhagavatam. That's why Prabhupada started this process of hearing Bhagavatam in the morning, reading Bhagavad Gita in the evening, so that we are constantly hearing about Krishna. Bhagavatam means it's Krishna. Either we can hear Bhagavatam, we can hear Chaitanya Charitamrita or Bhagavad Gita. That's not a problem as long as we are hearing. Because if we don't hear Krishna, we'll hear nonsense. We hear radio, we hear some news. Obviously, these news are repeated news. Most of the news is useless actually. It is because changing, and it is sometimes even frustrating us when we see something is going on which is not right. It's frustrates, it angers us. Whereas when we read Bhagavatam, we don't experience all those negative emotions. Then the other thing is association. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koy. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. And that is the topmost thing which a devotee can apply it in daily life, and then serving in temple. That's why we have Prabhupada, when Kali Yuga Dharma is chanting, Prabhupada would have said you could sit and chant. If you see Mahaprabhu, who is the predominant deity of our Brisbane, he never built any temple. But then after many centuries, when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then Prabhupada, they built this temple so that we are doing chanting at home, but to improve, to support our bhakti or sadhana, we need to do some service. Because at home, yes, anyway, we don't get that, we don't get, unless we are really advanced, we have this discrimination. Temple service is temple service and home is, we take it easy sometimes. Because of that, this temple service is important, because when we come and serve, again, there are sometimes we may have to serve with someone, it's very difficult, challenging situations. Yeah, we have to tolerate. So that is teaching us a lesson that how to tolerate. Still, we have to continue our service. And then the service which Prabhupada liked or emphasized a lot is book distribution and preaching. So that's because book distribution is, I have this experience initially when I started, it's like very humiliating. Like you stand there just to please Prabhupada and you are asking, hey mate, where are you from? And when we approach people, sometimes people don't even look as they say get lost. They use some people, those who are disturbed. And when we go and ask them, they feel disturbed and they use some things which are not palatable. So it disturbs us. And so initially it felt like humiliation, but still we have to do it. Whether we like it or not. Why we are doing? Just to please Prabhupada and Krishna. And even with our effort of one book, if it goes to someone like this boy, I don't know who has given to him, how he got it, but his life changed. He he has got understanding of other religions also. But he says he feels it is more relevant. And then obviously we all eat, so we have to offer our bhoga to Krishna first and then honor prachadam. So these are some of the practical applications of today's words, how to do Divya Tapa, how to experience Brahma Saukyam, which is unlimited, and how to say no to sense gratification. And again, the point here is, Richard is not telling us to reject happiness. So he's concerned about the happiness which we have to experience through our spiritual sadhana. That happiness is there also. We are all looking for happiness, but instead of looking for spiritual happiness, unfortunately, we get stuck into material, which is actually cause of our bondage. So he's encouraging us to look for higher taste. He's wanted to feel as higher taste, and by that we get real happiness. Okay, so with this, I'll just stop here. Sorry, excuse me, I just gone a little bit overboard. I didn't see the time. So I'll stop here. If anyone has any correction questions, please they can go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you very
Mata.
much. Thank you very much for the class. You have given us the practical, the things how one has to start at least chanting. I have seen so many devotees coming for years and years and years. They also come to Bhagavatam classes and association with the devotees, but it becomes so difficult for them. They don't chanting. Can you say something about that? They just don't want to chant. They say, I can do everything. I can have prasad. I can hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I can come to the temple, have darshan. I can do little bit service here and there. But somehow they find it very difficult to start chanting.
Yeah.
How can we sort of, encourage them? As I said, we cannot force anybody to chant.
Yeah, we cannot force.
Yes.
We have to give them good experience of our the temple. When obviously if they're coming to many of the people, those who are specifically from Indian background, they are happy to serve. If you ask them even clean temple or mop, they can do these things, and because that is they feel that this is something they are doing special. But unfortunately, many people don't understand the importance of chanting. Whereas in other traditions, if you look at it, chanting is what very important. They chant their different personalities. They believe in God. They chant it, but somehow chanting is difficult for them. So first we have to make them comfort. We make them comfortable and see that the process is really working. And if we are happy, when we are again, this is comes through our experience, our purity. If you are chanting nicely, if you are happy, then the person also gets, and we tell them this is important. And sometimes they have to have some special mercy, grace by some special devotees. That's why we have all great personalities. Recently, we had His Holiness Vedas Maharaj was there. So these are the persons when they hear them, and when through their mouth, when they hear the chanting, you should chant, then it automatically empowers them. So we do our thing. Yes, you are right, Mataji. When we are seeing them day in and day out, sometimes it's not possible. They don't listen to us. Even I had this issue with this thing. I faced this problem with one devotee. He does everything in temple. You tell him to cook, clean, broom, everything he does. Chanting, somehow he don't want to take it. So then, whenever this senior devotees come, we just take them and give them some audiences. You talk to him and take some blessings. And when obviously blessing, if any, like Radha Krishna Prabhu came recently, some people got inspired by him in one of the classes. And sometimes what we cannot do, Radha Krishna Prabhu or these personalities like Vedas Maharaj, they can inspire them. And when they tell, then they do it well. So we have to
Yes.
use all weapons, our own thing, other devotees, and then senior devotees.
So I think the best thing is for them to have more association.
Yes.
And sometimes we have a particular person. You can inspire a particular person because he likes you. And then that particular person, he or she, and then they are sort of. I remember the other day, I was in the gift shop, few weeks ago, and one lady, she came. I knew her, and she brought her friend, and she said, I want to buy a japamala.
Good.
And so she bought the japamala,
Mm.
and she told me, she asked me how to chant. So while I was there, I showed her how to chant on the japamala. And last week, I was at the temple, and she came to me and she said, do you recognize me? I said, yes. And you bought that japamala. And she said, yes. And I said, are you chanting? And she said, yes. and her friend said, she is actually for us. She is the one who never misses since she started. So
Good.
I was so happy. Just one person, one soul was saved. So
Yeah.
these little things are there.
Yeah.
I think we as devotees sometimes forget.
Correct.
The people, so many new people are coming at the temple.
Mm.
We just sit among ourselves. I keep
Correct.
on repeating that. Everybody will get fed of me saying, that you all sit together talking to your friends. Of course you need association, but there are so many new people coming there. Why can't
Mm.
you just go and say? You don't have to say chant. You can just give them association, talk to them, where are they from, and how they, sort of came over here. All
Mm.
these little things, you can develop a personal relationship with the person.
Yeah.
My Guru Maharaj used to say in Delhi temple, Radha Partha Sati temple, and the devotees are upstairs in the temple. If there are so many stairs and all that. And he said, what you people are doing it there? There are thousands and thousands of people. You should go down and meet them. And he used to do it himself, meeting new people. And so many people, their life is changed. So I just had this thought that
Yeah.
we should really tell, we are all devotees in this Zoom session. We should
Mm.
have a little part in there, not just talk among ourselves. Of course, we need association as well, but try to encourage, inspire even a one soul. And that is our devotional service. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mat. Thank you. It's a very important point.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone
Thank you,
else?
Mataji. Yeah, Prabhuji, there are some people also, I have given them chanting beads. I have shown them how to chant. They took it very happily. But when they go home and I ask them later, are you chanting? Yeah, we are chanting. But they change to different mantras. Even
Mm.
people who have been coming to the bhakti classes, they also change to different demigods or other mantras. And even if we tell them, no, this is not permanent, and Bhagavad Gita says that, they have so much karmic account, they will not listen to it.
Listen, yeah.
They use my mala, our mala, to
Mm.
chant their own mantras, which like really hurts me. But eventually, maybe their deity will, or
Mm.
their demigod will bring them to Lord Krishna. And also some of them, they will chant, but they don't want to take any initiation or any deity worship. They don't, even initiated deities, one or two, they don't want to take any deity worship. So they just chant. That's all. 16 rounds and done.
Yeah. So, see, okay, for the 2 points, Madhur. One is obviously, as you said, we have when we give with the intention that they chant Hare Krishna mantra. That's a mala meant for. But if they are chanting other mantras, because now what happened? It's not ISKCON. There are so many people. Different paths are there and some of them are much better, more reachable than ISKCON. Like even I face this problem. I was cultivating, I think, one or two families for years. They were coming. They were even chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Everything was going on. Suddenly they felt someone is more interesting, and then they went and took initiation. So I said, okay, because there are people there, they can tell your future, they can tell what you're doing it, and people get attracted to that. Obviously, we can't stop it. That is pitfall we have. Unless we are like Mahaprabhu, very purified, then only we can do it. And as you know, that we are human beings, we're still struggling. So that is one, we all face that. And the other thing, I think you are mentioning about one thing you said about chanting. Second, you said something I forgot.
Deity worship.
Yeah,
They just chant only. They don't
yeah.
have to do any
That
deity
is
worship.
again, they need to be get inspired. But again, deity, see, for Kali Yuga, Yuga Dharma is chanting. So if they can do chanting, that's enough for them to go back home backward. Sometimes people think that because deity worship means too much of do's and don'ts. I don't have to do. I don't want to. I don't want to get implicated. They feel that implications. So if they are first, we have to make them comfortable. We have to make them, inspire them, do it. If they are not doing it, then we have to pray for them and leave. Okay, at least they are chanting. That's better. There are millions of billions of people, they're not even chanting. These people are better, at least they're chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mm.
That's the positive approach. Yeah, but it makes you feel sad. And lucky I just gave them neem mala. I never gave them tulsi mala.
Yeah, Nimala is better because we
Yeah.
don't know if they are chanting some demigod's name, they might be eating meat also. So the chanting on Tulsi is not good for them.
Yeah.
It has to be purified.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it's fine.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, okay, so we'll stop here. It's already 8:48. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari
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 Bol.
Bol. His Grace Mukund Kumar Prabhuji ki jai.
Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Oh, Sadan.
Thank
Hari
you.
Bol.
Hare Krishna.